You have something to say? Well, save your breath. The way I see it, you don't have much more of them left. It wasn't a threat, fool, but it can be. You seem tired is all. Out of breath.
I could stay in these woods forever. The smell, the sounds, the various travelers just asking for their
The son of Cloudula Temple named me the Desert Fang. The Thalmor know me as Des Courier. To you, I am simply Savashni, the Khajiit who spared your life. Akaviri, forged in a dragonland, is a sword and armor of the blades, sworn to the service of the true emperor. Know this, my sword serves no one. You could be Tiber Septim reborn, and I'll still send you back to the divines with your head in your arms. And do you by chance know Habasi, Tizikar, or Adanja? Or should I throw more names into the wind to illustrate how daft you are? I don't know this Delphine. I don't know why you would bring up her name, other than to convince me you are a fool. You need not convince me of such, but this Delphine, if she is half the fool you are, won't appreciate how carelessly you toss around her name. At 16, my mentor had exhausted his use to me in terms of body. I would have granted him death right then, if not for the secrets his mind guarded. The Way of the Nine, stances and techniques derived from the teachings of the divines. That was his legacy, and his gift to me, his only pupil. But only when I was ready. A phrase thrown around by masters of all disciplines who wished to teach. What I wasn't ready for, and never would be, was religious nonsense with which he dressed the art of the kill. Now as I enter my prime, I search for the lesson that escaped into the void when we last crossed our blades. Fool, your words display the emptiness of your mind. It was my mentor himself who stated the stance of Arche was one passed on through death. Yet it's possible, as Arche governs life and death, that it was a test of one's scruples, and in killing him, the technique is lost to eternity. Yet if I hadn't struck the killing blow, then I myself would be lost to the void. And that's a trade only imbeciles like you would find worthy. You will understand little of what I speak, and much of it is of no practical use, but facile metaphors tossed around by dying man. But I will enjoy watching your brow twitch in confusion as I pass his words on to you. Take, for instance, Tabella, the god of beauty. It snowed that night when it should have rained. My mentor looked at the sky and said Kynareth was all out of tears. And I said, Kynareth does not cry for fools. We drew our swords and dashed through the trees, our feet rapping against the snow. The night before I had chosen my stance. While most would use the flurry of Akatosh, the technique is too violent. I could kill my mentor and lose sight of the very thing I sought to learn. And in the spiritual sense, the father does not come before the son. It was the defense of Zenithar that shielded me from his attack. If I saw both his blades as swords and not shields, I could parry, if not kill. Our blades clashed, but made no sound, muffled by the snowstorm. His swords came at me from all directions, but I kept my eyes on his feet. Or more precisely, the tracks he left in the snow. There was a pattern there, if only I had more time. To Akatosh, I went for the flurry and the kill. Yet when I saw his blade rise to the block, I hesitated, only to see that very blade run me through. It was then that he revealed the true essence of the technique. I assumed he moved to protect his life, when his stroke came for my death. But the blade missed my heart by the width of a cat's hair. I made no such mistake with his neck. Just like that, it was over. I dropped to my knees and reached for my potion as his body drowned in a cascade of snow. I tossed the half-empty bottle beside his severed head and said he could have the rest. When he didn't respond, I couldn't help but laugh. All of it, the tracks, the blood, and his legacy, washed away in a tide of white.
Time for some ale and a
Come to the
good
right
meal.
place. Pull up a seat. Oh, it's you again. What in blazes do you want? Sibby Blackbriar is furious that his ex-lover tried to murder him. He's leaving no stone unturned searching for her. Here, take a look at this.
Very cold here.
The Blackbriar family run. I'm curious why Maven doesn't just take the throne for herself, since we all know she wants it.
What's that? Now you're running amok. Your blood will not protect you from me.
Nobody said it'd be a fair fight. I love fight. Yeah? Skyrim is a harsh place, and you've got to know how to defend yourself. I don't know where you're from, but here, even the snooty upper-class types know a thing or two about fighting. Not that I'm... well, you know what I mean. Anything else? Not exactly. I have good friends in the guild, like Sapphire, but I wanted to keep my independence. I'm not interested in rebuilding a guild or belonging to some club. Oh, and I don't play well with others. Was there something else? Mm-hmm.
Bruce?
I will return!
Our benevolent spirits.
And they won't mind offering me their blades.
Those blades are sacred.
Sacred. So dull they can't even shave your beard. This scroll, on the other hand, may point me toward heaven.
Curse you, grave robber. Arcade take your soul.
Arcade. Blasted Arcade. 99 fools, life and death, delivered by my blades, and not once has the stance of Arcade shown itself. You hear me? You cannot hide from me forever, my mentor. So the fool comes to dance once more. But it seems I've slain all your partners. Then you are still too late, and too stupid to comprehend why. They are one and the same. Or have you come to sharpen your fangs? In that case, the blades you seek are not here either. A sanctuary for the ghosts of the Akavir. My mentor once spoke of it in passing. Now all those ghosts have passed. It seems one of these ghosts was a greedy one. He had 2 legendary blades, away where the others would be blind to his duplicity. Why else, imbecile, to hunt my old mentor? Yet he continues to elude me, as does his stance. Idiot. Why do I even waste my breath speaking to you? This is not about a name or some fool's sense of glory. I seek perfection, knowledge, power. One is as light as a feather, and as fast as its edge doesn't appear to be as fine. But that's deliberate. A light blade with an edge is brittle, and this sword is as sturdy. The other is as sharp and as piercing as a confession. Both are life and death Not at all. Speak with your equal. Patron balls of yarn. I have 2 swords to fetch.
Hey, stay quiet and follow me.
You have arrived at last. Do not be alarmed. This pilgrim gave his body in service to the gods, as was his desire. In their final days, many pilgrims come to sacred crypts such as this one, in hopes of redeeming themselves from a life of sin. They offer their bodies to the ghosts that haunt these halls, so together they may find absolution. I have, ever since my death, I have been waiting for you to come, waiting for a sign. Then today you enter on the heels of my pupil. This is no coincidence. Truly the gods are great. That is where you are mistaken, young disciple. The gods have a hand in all things, for all things were made by the hands of the gods. You remind me of her. She did not heed the teachings of the divines, and now she pays the price. Forgive me, where are my manners? My name is Garrett. I am Savashni's former master, and steward of the Way of the Nine. Who can say? As such, the ghost, she thinks that facing me once more would afford her a second opportunity to learn the stance of Arcane. Yes and no. Technically, it will grant her the opportunity she desires. The stance of Arcane is based on instinct and flow. She thinks that facing me once more would afford her. The stance of Arcane is based on instinct and flow. That flow requires a deep, meditative understanding of how Arcane. Then, and only then, is the mind able to see. I can show you. She thinks that facing me, then she very well may end her life and follow. Yet, it is her lack of faith that is her downfall. For the stance of Arcane, it may sound impossible. Still, however, the gap between us cannot be crossed by one side. The 8 came easily enough. It is the 9th that eludes. Contrary to her belief, it is not about whether one can overcome their fear of death. If it were derived from... No, the stance of Arcane. In combat, the rivers of life and death, Savashni thinks of the religious and the practical as 2 separate blades. At no point did she consider they can be wielded to end the life of my disciple and to demonstrate to her the power of the divines. To accomplish that, you must endure what she would not. Only through the pilgrimage of the divine. When you have walked the supplicant's road, Then you will be ready to inherit the stars of Arcade. If you side with her, then you may receive the ire of the gods, or perhaps, even worse, their indifference. That is wishful thinking on behalf of my pupil. My hope was that in our fateful battle, she would experience a divine intervention. If she failed to embrace the divine's teachings, she would die by my hand. You too will face a similar test, but you do not have to do it alone. Together you will be able to see the rivers of life and death flow through your stars, but only as long as the 9 of us. Such is the consequence of shortcuts, but we do not have the time. First, you must find a brute of Talos, a warrior who's very... Second, the embrace of Mara. Third, the mercy of Stendhal. Fourth, a tear of Kinnereth seeks the one who... Fifth, a mind of Julianos, only one whose intellect... Sixth, a mark of Debella, find one whose beauty is profound. Seventh, a scale of Zenithar. Lastly, the judge of Akatosh. When you have been blessed by 8 who are worthy, and the 8 flames are lit, now go, my young disciple, and keep the gods in your heart.